The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Well, Merry Christmas, Mr Speaker, and thank you for your patience and your humour in the House. Thank you to the staff of this building and the ones around it that just help us all so much and do so much. I think a big thank you to the New Zealand public and certainly in their patience with MPs at times, I'm sure. To my own electorate of Upper Harbour, I want to say hi. I know two people that are actually watching this, so I have to get a big mum and dad Merry Christmas. Because that's a little bit exciting. For me, I think to my own staff and certainly officials, to my own staff, can I suggest they put down their wine glass right now and give themselves a round of applause for all they've done this year. It's been a big year for the government, a busy government, driving positive change and of course focused on what matters to New Zealand. And you can't help but kind of compare that to Her Majesty's loyal opposition. I mean, you just would. They think they've had a successful year. We just heard that, and certainly standing up and congratulating themselves, and we've even had a couple of media that have been saying the same thing, and I think they're going to tick this box as a goodie for themselves. They had a conference where they didn't annihilate each other, and one where they didn't sort of publicly go out there and sort of bite each other's heads off, and for them that of course is a success. They also didn't say or do anything at that conference or actually lay out an agenda or what they stand for, but that doesn't matter because actually the fact they didn't publicly attack their leader is a measure of success. And when you're sort of working from such a low base, not sinking lower, I suppose, in some measures would be a success. It's a bit like when they found the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean, and you will say there was amazement and they saw it as a success. But the reality is it was still sunk and it's actually still down there, a lot like Labour, I reckon. So the Beltway Brigade, of course, we have Andrew Little, Annette King, Grant Robertson and even Chris Hipkins can join that one, more focused on themselves in Wellington than actually New Zealanders themselves. But then you've got to ask yourselves, when they do look outside of Wellington, what do they see? Well, that didn't go so well either, because what you got was Phil Twyford, the Donald Trump of New Zealand politics, who did try to focus on Auckland. Like Donald, he's got bad ties thinning here, and he too has decided to mock people based on their surname. But 2015 has had a few changes. The Greens found James Shaw, but I've got to say publicly, we've lost him. Publicly, we've lost him in the last few months. I think he's gone to sort of merge with the Green or something, and we just haven't seen him for ages. For ages. I never thought I'd hear David Seymour talking about the cock, but we did. And that, I'm not sure, was quite a highlight for 2015 or a change, but was something that does stand out, I've got to say. Winston Peters, although we didn't have any real change there, we've still got the jokes from 1978 and that famous line from Hotel California where they say, we haven't seen that spirit here since 1969. We'll go, we haven't had that same joke here since 1968, but he still seems to like to roll them out quite often. Andy got angry, Jacinda pouted, and meanwhile, quite frankly, National's been concentrating on New Zealanders and what matters most to them. A highlight this year, Mr Speaker, has to be rolling out free doctors' visits for under 13-year-olds. Oh, and here he is now, the man that just did it. So there you go. A major highlight, I've got to say, has been reaching that target of surplus. And I really want to congratulate Bill English on it, because it's really been something, I think, for this country to show that when we can, we live within our means, when they need us to step up and spend more like we did in Christchurch. Another highlight, certainly from my perspective, has been that commitment to beneficiaries, to seeing more money going in their pocket that they need, and we certainly acknowledge that and recognise it. A highlight for me has certainly been in recent days getting the portfolio of climate change issues, and I don't mean to brag, but I must say that in the last 3 days the sun has been shining in Wellington, and that is a change to the climate. I don't want to take responsibility for it or sort of brag too much, but quite frankly, we have seen that. And Mr Speaker, I think most of all what has been a highlight for me in 2015 is seeing a leader like John Key, who is still so committed to this country, is so committed to leading a government that actually focuses and does govern for all New Zealanders. A man that quite frankly shows an energy and a persistence and can be quite uncompromising of his expectations and what this great country can do for its people. It's been a great year. I look forward to 2016, and I thank everyone in the House.
Mr. Speaker.